I freeze mid-sip when I hear Brittany's laughter floating through the thin walls of my parents' condo. My coffee mug dangles precariously from my fingertips as her words become clear. I know, Madison has no idea. Her rent increase is literally paying for our entire Myrtle Beach vacation. Robert's thrilled he's been wanting to take Logan to the ocean. The ceramic mug slips from my hand and shatters against the linoleum, sending coffee and shards spraying across my bare feet. I barely notice the hot liquid burning my skin. 3 weeks I've been sleeping on this lumpy couch. 3 weeks since Tyler and Brittany moved in with baby Logan, claiming they needed the extra bedroom temporarily while their house was being renovated. 3 weeks since my parents doubled my rent because expenses have gone up, sweetie. I step carefully over the broken pieces and peer around the corner. The living room is barely recognizable anymore. My belongings are crammed into plastic bins stacked in the corner, while Tyler's family photos dominate the mantel. Baby toys litter the floor. Brittany sits cross-legged on what used to be my reading chair, still oblivious to my presence. Mom and Dad said they'll watch Logan while we're gone so we can have some alone time. I'm thinking spa day, maybe some shopping. She pauses, listening. Oh, Madison? She's covering the office that weekend. At least she's good for something, right? My chest tightens as the truth crystallizes. My parents aren't just favoring Tyler, they're actively using my money to support him. The realization burns worse than the coffee on my feet. I think back to when I was 16, begging Mom to let me take dance lessons. We just can't afford extras right now, Madison, she'd said while signing the check for Tyler's private baseball coach. Maybe next year. I remember my college graduation dinner. I'd earned a full academic scholarship to state while working 20 hours a week at the campus bookstore. My parents had spent exactly 12 minutes acknowledging my magna cum laude status before turning the conversation to Tyler's acceptance letter to a mid-tier university that would cost them thousands each semester. Dad had proudly displayed the letter on the table. Our son, the future business mogul. My hands tremble as I retreat to the kitchen. I pick up my phone and dial Mom's number before I lose my nerve. Madison? Everything okay? You never call during work hours. Why did you raise my rent? My voice sounds strange, too tight. A pause. Well, as we explained, expenses have gone up. The HOA fees increased, and with Tyler's family staying temporarily, the utilities are higher. But I'm sleeping on the couch while paying double what I was before. How is that fair? It's our property, and we need to cover the additional expenses. Her voice takes on the patient tone she uses when she thinks I'm being unreasonable. Family helps family, Madison. You know that. Family helps family. The phrase echoes in my head as I open my banking app. There they are, 6 months of increasing payments. First, a utility surcharge, then a maintenance fee, and finally the doubled rent, all while Tyler pays nothing. We need to talk about this arrangement as a family, I say, surprised by the steadiness in my voice. There's nothing to discuss. Your father and I have already decided this is what works best for everyone. Best for everyone, or best for Tyler? Mom's voice turns icy. I don't appreciate your tone. Tyler has a family to support now. His startup needs time to get off the ground, and they need our help. You have a stable job. You should be grateful we're providing you affordable housing in this market. Affordable, at twice what I was paying before. Dad agrees with this? I ask, though I already know the answer. Of course he does. We're united on this, Madison. Now I need to go. Tyler and Brittany are bringing Logan over for lunch. After she hangs up, I stare at my phone. My hands have stopped trembling. For years, I've swallowed my protests, accepted the scraps of their attention, told myself that family loyalty matters above all else. I've believed that eventually, my contributions would be recognized, my efforts appreciated. But as I stand here in the kitchen I help pay for, surrounded by the shattered pieces of my coffee mug, I finally understand the truth. In my family's eyes, my contributions aren't appreciated, they're expected. My responsibilities are obligations, while Tyler's are optional. If I push back, I risk losing even the minimal connection I have with my parents. If I don't, I'll keep paying for Tyler's vacations while sleeping on a couch that leaves my back aching every morning. I step carefully to avoid the broken ceramic and bend down to clean up the mess. As I work, something shifts inside me. The anger doesn't fade, but it cools into something harder, more focused. I've been playing by their rules for 27 years. Maybe it's time to write some rules of my own. Later that night, The bank statement sits on the kitchen counter like a landmine waiting to detonate. I freeze, my fingers hovering over the official-looking paper that Mom must have forgotten during her hasty departure for yoga class. My name jumps from the pager, rather, an abbreviation of it. M's contribution, the line reads. The transfer date matches exactly when my rent check cleared last month. The amount matches too, $1,800. But the destination isn't my parents' account, it's Tyler's. I lean against the refrigerator, my lungs struggling to pull in enough air. The cool metal against my back anchors me as the room threatens to tilt. This isn't a one-time occurrence. Each month shows the same pattern. My rent deposited, then immediately transferred to Tyler's account with that same damning label. They've been using me as their personal ATM for Tyler's family. For months. Sunday dinner arrives with its usual clockwork precision. Mom bustles around the kitchen preparing Tyler's favorite pot roast, while Dad pours him the expensive bourbon reserved for special occasions. I brought my own side dish. No one bothered to ask what I might want to eat. Madison, grab the salad dressing from the fridge. Mom calls without looking at me. I comply mechanically, watching Tyler sprawl in what used to be my reading chair, baby Logan bouncing on his knee. The chair that now serves as my bed still holds the imprint of Tyler's body from afternoon naps he takes while I'm at work. We have exciting news, Dad announces once we're all seated. He clears his throat with that self-important rumble that always precedes his proclamations. We've decided to renovate the second bedroom into a proper nursery for Logan. New carpet, fresh paint, built-in storage. I stab a piece of roast with unnecessary force. How nice, I manage. Mom beams. The new arrangement is working so well, and with your help, Madison, we can make that room perfect for the baby. My help? The words come out sharper than I intended. Tyler chuckles. Come on, sis. You're such a good aunt, supporting us like this. He winks, and something in his expression tells me he knows exactly where my rent money goes. The fork trembles in my hand. They aren't even trying to hide it anymore. Later that night, I scroll through apartment listings on my phone, the glow illuminating the darkened living room. Every decent one-bedroom within commuting distance starts at $2,400, far above what I can afford while maintaining my emergency fund. Speaking of which, I switch to my banking app. My savings account balance blinks back accusingly, down almost $5,000 since Tyler moved in. At this rate, I'll deplete my emergency fund entirely within 2 months. The financial reality crushes down on me. I can't afford to move, but staying means bankruptcy. I minimize the banking app and pull up the MBA program I'd been planning to apply to. The application fee alone is $250, money I no longer have to spare. With a swipe of my finger, I delete the MBA website from my bookmarks. Sleep evades me again. The lumpy couch springs dig into my hip no matter how I position myself. I've tried foam toppers, doubled blankets, even sleeping pills. Nothing helps. The dark circles under my eyes have become a permanent feature, earning concerned glances from coworkers. At work the next morning, I stare blankly at my computer screen, the quarterly report numbers swimming before my exhausted eyes. For the third time this week, I've made calculation errors my supervisor had to correct. Madison, can I see you in my office? Patricia's voice startles me from my daze. I follow her, mentally preparing my defense for the sloppy work. Instead, she closes the door and gestures for me to sit. You look exhausted, she says simply. This isn't like you. I'm sorry about the report errors. I'll fix them right away. She waves away my apology. I'm not concerned about the reports. I'm concerned about you. Is everything all right at home? The unexpected kindness nearly undoes me. Just some family issues. I manage. Patricia studies me for a moment. I can offer you flexible hours until you get through this difficult time. Come in later if you need sleep, or work from home when family obligations are too much. Thank you, I whisper, fighting back the burn of tears. In that moment, my boss shows more concern for my well-being than my family has in years. That evening, I update my budget spreadsheet at the kitchen table, methodically eliminating every non-essential expense. My weekly coffee shop visit gone, streaming service canceled. Cell phone plan downgraded. Every dollar matters now. As I make these cuts, a question forms in my mind. Should I confront my family directly about what I've discovered, or quietly make my own plans to leave? Confronting them might force change, but secretly planning my exit would protect me from further manipulation. I close the spreadsheet and stare at my reflection in the darkened laptop screen. What would you do when the people who should support you are the ones taking advantage? Sunday arrives with its familiar rhythm of family dinner preparations. Mom chops vegetables while I peel potatoes, the kitchen filled with the aroma of roasting chicken. Tyler and Brittany are conspicuously absent, having taken Logan for his afternoon nap in my former bedroom. We need you to watch Logan this weekend, Mom says, scraping carrots into a bowl. We're taking Tyler and Brittany to the beach house for a break. They're exhausted from the renovations. The potato peeler slips in my hand, nearly taking my thumb with it. I've been working 60-hour weeks while paying double rent, I say quietly. Who's giving me a break? Mom's hands still. That's different. They have a baby. A baby they chose to have while living rent-free in a place I pay for. Madison. Her voice carries the warning tone I've heard all my life. Family helps family. Tyler needs. What about what I need? The words burst from me, surprising us both. I sleep on a couch. My things get used without permission. I work overtime to pay rent that funds their vacations. When does anyone in this family help me? Mom's eyes fill with tears. After everything we've done for you. What exactly have you done for me that compares to what you've done for Tyler? Her silence is answer enough. I won't be babysitting this weekend, I say, setting down the peeler. I have plans. Mom dabs at her eyes with a dish towel. Your father will be very disappointed. For the first time, that threat doesn't pierce my heart. Dinner passes in uncomfortable silence. Dad glares at his plate. Mom pushes food around without eating. Tyler and Brittany exchange confused glances, unaccustomed to not being the center of attention. No one looks at me. The next day, Sarah helps me schedule an apartment viewing during lunch. The one bedroom is small but clean, with a kitchen that's all mine and a bedroom door that locks. The property manager mentions the secured entry system twice, emphasizing that all visitors must be buzzed in. My supervisor approves my request for a small advance on my next paycheck when I explain I need it for a security deposit. About time, she says, signing the form. You've been running on fumes for weeks. That evening, I create a new spreadsheet, not one documenting losses, but one planning gains. A freedom fund with careful calculations of rent, utilities, and the small luxuries I've denied myself for too long. I plot my finances week by week, watching the numbers transform from barrier to blueprint. 2 days later, I sign the lease during my lunch break, the pen steady in my hand. The apartment will be ready in exactly 3 weeks. The property manager explains the security features, again a coded entry, that requires a resident to grant access, security cameras in the lobby. No one gets in unless you want them to, she assures me. I drive back to the condo that evening, rehearsing how I'll break the news to my parents. But when I open the door, the conversation I planned evaporates. Mom and Dad sit at the kitchen table, a formal-looking document between them. They look up as I enter. We need to discuss your living arrangement, Dad says, sliding the paper toward me. Given the current circumstances, we've had to adjust your rent. I pick up the notice, the numbers swimming before my eyes. $2,500 monthly, effective immediately. I place the rent increase notice on the coffee table, arranging my face into what I hope passes for resigned acceptance. Mom's eyebrows lift slightly. She expected an argument. I understand, I say, my voice steady. You need to do what's best for everyone. Dad clears his throat. Well, good. That's good. The flash of uncertainty in his eyes tells me everything I need to know. They expected, resistance wanted it even. A fight would justify their actions, reinforce their narrative of me as the difficult child who doesn't understand family obligations. Instead, I pick up my work bag. I have an early meeting tomorrow. Good night. Later, as they sleep, I begin sorting through my belongings. I carefully select essential items, financial documents, irreplaceable photos, my grandmother's cameo, and pack them into my work tote. Each morning, I smuggle another small load to the office storage room, where Sarah has cleared a shelf for me. By Wednesday, I've set up a P.O. box and changed my banking address. When my credit card company emails to confirm the update, I feel a small thrill of victory. The first thread unraveled. Madison, honey? Mom calls from the kitchen Saturday morning. We thought you might like your bedroom painted a nicer color. Tyler and your father are getting started today. I round the corner to find them already moving my furniture. my wall calendar with marked work deadlines crumpled in the trash. That's thoughtful, I manage, noting how Tyler avoids my eyes. Actually, this works perfectly. I have to catch up at the office anyway. Mom beams. See, Tyler? I told you she wouldn't mind. This unexpected gift a reason to be absent allows me to move 3 boxes of books and winter clothes unnoticed. I snap photos of the condo's condition, documenting everything from the scuff-free baseboards to the intact cabinet hinges. No one will claim I left damages. Sunday evening, Tyler corners me in the kitchen while grabbing another beer. Brittany's really excited about converting half your closet for Logan's things, he says, popping the cap. Since you barely use it anyway. I nod, memorizing his exact words. When are you planning that? Next weekend. Dad's got a contractor buddy who'll build custom shelving. That night, I call the moving company and reschedule for Friday instead of Sunday, 4 days earlier than planned. On Tuesday, I find my credit card statement on the kitchen counter, the envelope torn open. Holding it to the light, I can see fingerprints on the edges, fingerprints that don't match mine. The final confirmation I needed. As I packed my grandmother's quilt, the only family heirloom I'd been given, I wondered if I should tell my parents about my move before I left or simply disappear. Would a final confrontation bring closure, or would it just give them another chance to manipulate me? Friday morning dawns bright and clear. My parents left last night for Tyler's baseball tournament, 3 hours away, a weekend event they never missed, even when I had academic competitions in high school. Sarah arrives at 8, coffee carrier in one hand, clipboard in the other. Operation Freedom is a go, she announces, handing me a latte. Thomas will be here with his truck at 9. Your supervisor approved your long weekend, and I've lined up reinforcements for the unpacking party. Thomas backs his pickup truck to the curb precisely at 9. Nice place, he comments, surveying the manicured lawn and community pool. Why leave? Beautiful cage is still a cage, I answer, unlocking the door for the movers who pull up behind him. I place the rent increase notice on the coffee table, arranging my face into what I hope passes for resigned acceptance. Mom's eyebrows lift slightly. She expected an argument. I understand, I say, my voice steady. You need to do what's best for everyone. Dad clears his throat. Well, good. That's good. The flash of uncertainty in his eyes tells me everything I need to know. They expected resistance, wanted it even. A fight would justify their actions, reinforce their narrative of me as the difficult child who doesn't understand family obligations. Instead, I pick up my work bag. I have an early meeting tomorrow. Good night. Later, as they sleep, I begin sorting through my belongings. I carefully select essential items, financial documents, irreplaceable photos, my grandmother's cameo, and pack them into my work tote. Each morning, I smuggle another small load to the office storage room, where Sarah has cleared a shelf for me. By Wednesday, I've set up a P.O. box and changed my banking address. When my credit card company emails to confirm the update, I feel a small thrill of victory. The first thread unraveled. Madison, honey? Mom calls from the kitchen Saturday morning. We thought you might like your bedroom painted a nicer color. Tyler and your father are getting started today. I round the corner to find them already moving my furniture, my wall calendar with marked work deadlines crumpled in the trash. That's thoughtful, I manage, noting how Tyler avoids my eyes. Actually, this works perfectly. I have to catch up at the office anyway. Mom beams. See, Tyler? I told you she wouldn't mind. This unexpected gift a reason to be absent allows me to move 3 boxes of books and winter clothes unnoticed. I snap photos of the condo's condition, documenting everything from the scuff-free baseboards to the intact cabinet hinges. No one will claim I left damages. Sunday evening, Tyler corners me in the kitchen while grabbing another beer. Brittany's really excited about converting half your closet for Logan's things, he says, popping the cap. Since you barely use it anyway. I nod, memorizing his exact words. When are you planning that? Next weekend. Dad's got a contractor buddy who'll build custom shelving. That night, I call the moving company and reschedule for Friday instead of Sunday, 4 days earlier than planned. On Tuesday, I find my credit card statement on the kitchen counter, the envelope torn open. Holding it to the light, I can see fingerprints on the edges, fingerprints that don't match mine. The final confirmation I needed. As I packed my grandmother's quilt, the only family heirloom I'd been given, I wondered if I should tell my parents about my move before I left or simply disappear. Would a final confrontation bring closure, or would it just give them another chance to manipulate me? Friday morning dawns bright and clear. My parents left last night for Tyler's baseball tournament, 3 hours away, a weekend event they never missed, even when I had academic competitions in high school. Sarah arrives at 8, coffee carrier in one hand, clipboard in the other. Operation Freedom is a go, she announces, handing me a latte. Thomas will be here with his truck at 9. Your supervisor approved your long weekend, and I've lined up reinforcements for the unpacking party. Thomas backs his pickup truck to the curb precisely at 9. Nice place, he comments, surveying the manicured lawn and community pool. Why leave? Beautiful cage is still a cage, I answer, unlocking the door for the movers who pull up behind him. The professional team works efficiently, wrapping furniture and loading boxes while Sarah and Thomas handle my personal items. By 1 o'clock, the condo looks remarkably untouched except for the absence of anything that belongs to me. You sure about this? Sarah asks as I lock the door, leaving my key on the counter inside. Never been more certain of anything. My new apartment is modest but entirely mine. White walls I can paint any color, windows that let in afternoon light, and most importantly, a secured entrance no one can breach without my permission. As we unpack, Thomas hangs my diploma's achievements my parents never displayed. My supervisor arrives with housewarming wine and helps assemble my bed frame. 2 other colleagues bring takeout and start organizing my kitchen. To Madison, Sarah toasts, raising her paper cup of wine, who reminds us that family should be earned, not entitled. The warm glow of their support wraps around me like a blanket, more comforting than any family dinner I can remember. At 7, my phone begins vibrating continuously. 17 missed calls in 30 minutes. I silence it and place its screen down on my new coffee table. They found the empty closet, I say, unexpected calmness washing over me. A text from Tyler appears. How could you abandon the family like this when we need you most? Then from Mom. We're coming over right now. I glance around my new living room plants on the windowsill. Books arranged on shelves, friends chatting in my kitchen, and feel something unfamiliar settle in my chest. Peace. They don't know where I am. And for the first time in 27 years, I'm not rushing to ease their distress. I pick up my wine and join the conversation about paint colors for my bathroom, 17 panicked notifications blinking unheeded behind me. Next day at work, I stand beside my desk, knuckles white against the polished wood as my parents and Tyler burst through the office door without warning. Mother's eyes are red-rimmed, tissue clutched dramatically to her nose. Dad's jaw is set in that familiar stubborn line I've seen 1,000 times before, the expression that always preceded "because I said so" throughout my childhood. Behind them, Tyler paces like a caged animal, his designer shoes squeaking against the tile floor. 3 pairs of eyes lock onto me, and I feel something I haven't experienced in their presence before. Calm. Madison, this has gone far enough, Dad announces, his voice carrying across the open floor plan. Coworkers glance up from their monitors. You're coming home today. Mother steps forward, tears spilling perfectly on cue. We're worried sick about you, honey. This isn't like you, running away from family when we need you. Need me? The words taste bitter on my tongue. Or need my money? Tyler pushes past our parents. You're being ridiculous. Mom and Dad have done everything for you, and now you're wathering some kind of breakdown because you had to sleep on a couch for a few weeks? 3 months, I correct quietly, and pay double rent. We can work this out at home, Dad says, positioning himself to block my office doorway. His voice drops to that authoritative rumble that used to make me shrink. After all we've done for you, Madison, everything we've sacrificed. Mother touches my arm. I resist the urge to pull away. We'll give you your bedroom back. Brittany and I have already moved your things. You can have your space again. For the same rent? I ask. A quick glance passes between my parents. Well, the expenses haven't changed, Dad explains as if to a child. But you'll have your privacy back. That's what you wanted, right? Tyler leans in. Unless you prefer we tell people how you've been acting lately, Dr. Reynolds still practice. Remember him? He helped cousin Janet during her episode. The threat hangs in the air. Report Madison is mentally unstable if she doesn't comply. I take a deep breath and open my desk drawer. I thought you might come here. I pull out a blue folder, its edges crisp and new. So I prepared something for you. Mother frowns. What's that supposed to be? I open the folder and spread its contents across my desk. Bank statements, rent receipts, photos of my belongings moved without permission, some damaged. A credit card statement with the envelope torn open not by me. This is 6 years of rent payments over. $60,000 for a property Tyler has lived in rent-free. My finger trails down a highlighted column. And these are the transfers you made to Tyler's account on the same days my rent cleared. Dad's face flushes red. You had no right to. To what? Track my own money? Notice when my mail was opened? My voice remains steady, surprising even me. Or notice when my possessions were damaged. My supervisor Lisa appears beside my desk, arms folded. I hadn't realized she was listening. Everything okay here, Madison? She asks, her presence a quiet statement of support. I don't owe you anything. I tell my family, maintaining eye contact with my father instead of looking down as I always had before. Not money, not babysitting, not sacrificing my future for Tyler's convenience. You need to leave, I continue, or I'll have security escort you out. Mother gasps. You wouldn't dare. I reach for my phone. Try me. The walk to the lobby feels endless. Every eye in the office follows our procession, my parents and Tyler trailing behind me like disgraced courtiers rather than the royalty they've always considered themselves. In the lobby, with clients and coworkers as witnesses, I stop and turn. I almost forgot. I pull a sheet from the folder. This is for you. Dad takes it, squinting at the itemized list. What the hell is this? An invoice. Excess rent, babysitting services, damaged property. I point to the total at the bottom. $27,412. Tyler laughs, the sound sharp and dismissive. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You've always been jealous of me. Mom and Dad just recognized who had real potential. I look at my brother, really look at him for perhaps the first time. The expensive watch, the tailored clothes, the entitled expectation in his eyes. No, Tyler. They taught you to take and me to give. I'm finally learning a different lesson. Mother steps forward, tears flowing freely now. She reaches for my hands, but I keep them at my sides. We're family, Madison, she pleads. We're all you have. The words would have crushed me 3 months ago. Today, they merely bounce off. Family doesn't exploit family, I say softly. I have people who respect me now. I walk to the glass doors and hold one open, waiting. Through the window, I can see a security guard approaching, summoned by the receptionist who'd recognized the tension. Madison, please. Dad tries one last time. You're making a mistake. No, I reply. I'm finally correcting one. They leave without another word, 3 stunned faces disappearing into the parking lot. I return to my desk on legs that somehow feel both leaden and weightless. 2 weeks later, Sarah drops by my apartment with a bottle of wine and office gossip. Heard your parents are scrambling to cover their mortgage, she says, pouring us each a glass. Apparently they can't make the payments without your rent. I sip my wine, unsure how to feel about this information. Tyler's working at the mall now, Sarah continues. Megan from accounting saw him at the cell phone kiosk, said he didn't look happy about it. His startup research must be on hold, I say, unable to keep the dryness from my voice. Sarah raises her glass in a toast. To consequences. I should feel vindicated. Instead, I feel strangely hollow. My grandmother's birthday is next weekend. The whole family will be there. Are you going? Before I can answer, my phone chimes with a text. I don't recognize the number. I open the message to find a photo of an envelope addressed to me in spidery handwriting. Below it, a simple message. Check your mailbox. 10 minutes later, I'm holding a cream-colored note card from my grandmother. The message is brief but sends a chill down my spine. I've been watching. We need to talk. 2 days later, the scent of garlic and basil wafts through my apartment as I arrange a vase of sunflowers on my secondhand dining table. My dining table. In my apartment. The thought still sends a flutter through my chest even after 3 weeks. Need help with anything else? Sarah asks, placing the last wine glass beside a chipped blue plate. I think we're set. I smooth the tablecloth burgundy, not navy, because I chose it myself. The doorbell chimes, and I catch my reflection in the entryway mirror. Shoulders back, chin lifted, a woman who makes her own decisions. Thomas arrives with a bottle of wine, followed by Jen from accounting and Marcus from HR. My colleagues turned friends fill my modest living room with laughter that belongs entirely to me. Oh, I almost forgot. I hurry to my bedroom and return with an envelope. Look what came yesterday. Sarah unfolds the letter and squeals. MBA program. Madison, this is fantastic. With the money I'm saving on family contributions, I can actually afford tuition. I gesture toward my wall where my photography series landscapes my mother once called a waste of perfectly good film hangs in simple frames. Beside them sits a framed photo of our department receiving the Quarterly Achievement Award, my face beaming in the front row. To Madison, Thomas raises his glass. Data analyst extraordinaire and soon to be MBA graduate. Later that afternoon, I drive to Grandma Ellen's house, the familiar gravel driveway crunching under my tires. 3 days before her birthday gathering, I needed to see her alone first. I wasn't sure you'd come, she says, pouring tea into delicate cups I remember from childhood visits. Not after everything. I almost didn't. I accept the cup, the warmth seeping into my palms. I saw what they did to you. Her voice carries none of the tremor it does around my parents. For years, Richard always favored Tyler, just like my husband favored him. You knew? The tea scalds my tongue, but the pain feels distant. I knew, but I was too afraid to speak up. When you lose your voice once, it's hard to find it again. She places her weathered hand over mine. I'm proud of you for finding yours sooner than I did. Instead of the familiar resentment, I feel only a gentle sadness for the patterns that imprisoned us both. It wasn't easy. Nothing worthwhile ever is. She rises with surprising agility and retrieves a carved wooden box from her bookshelf. This was my mother's. I want you to have it. The jewelry box fits perfectly in my hands, worn smooth by generations of women's touch. For the woman who makes her own way, she says, her eyes bright with unshed tears. That evening, my apartment transforms again. Sarah brings takeout. Thomas uncorks another bottle, and we squeeze onto my second-hand couch. To building the family you choose, Jen toasts, and the words settle into my bones with the comfort of absolute truth. Sarah presents me with a small package. Inside is a doormat stamped with bold letters. My home, my rules. Perfect. I laugh, feeling lighter than I have in years. Sunday arrives with golden autumn sunshine. I park my car at my parents' house for Grandma's birthday, arrive exactly when I choose to, and leave my mother's guilt-inducing text unanswered. Madison! Logan toddles toward me, arms outstretched. I scoop up my nephew, breathing in his sweet shampoo scent. Auntie Maddie is starting her MBA program. I tell him, aware of my mother hovering nearby. That's nice, she says, voice strained. We're planning a big Christmas dinner. You'll join us, of course? Actually, I've made other plans. The words emerge without apology or explanation. I kneel to Logan's level before leaving. I'll always be here for you, I whisper, just in a healthier way. As I drive away, I adjust my rearview mirror. The house where I once measured my worth by others' approval grows smaller behind me. Ahead, the horizon stretches wide with possibility. I wonder if setting boundaries was actually the most loving thing I could have done, and not just for myself, but for them too. Sometimes the hardest lesson to teach is that respect must be earned, not demanded. What would you have done? Continued to sacrifice your well-being for family harmony, or drawn the line as I did?